Peace, everybody. My name is Ethan. I'm reporting here from Geneva, Switzerland. It's the end of our second day here. And it's been a long day, pretty tired at this point. Just got done doing some organizing about what we're going to do tomorrow. We picked up our IDs, we headed over to orientation. And then we met with a bunch of other people coming to the UN. It was really powerful meeting Rukia Boyd's brother, who's also from Chicago. And we had a great conversation after I was practicing my reading about how often to seem acceptable in a lot of spheres, we have to censor ourselves and censor our emotions and censor what makes us angry. And he was saying just recently he snapped and he just let it all out and how that really helped him. But he was also worried about what that would mean moving forward if he would lose support. And I think that's often a thing we all face. Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking practicing the statement, but it also feels good to know that this statement is being heard. It's being heard across the world. And I think when Demo passed, when he was murdered, it was at a point where I was like, no one's going to hear about this. Nothing's going to be done. And it was a real devastating moment. And then things like this is just more and more hope getting built up. I really hope they feel Demo's energy. And I hope I'm a good enough conductor for that. Peace, everyone. Peace, everybody. This is Ethan, reporting from Geneva, day 3 out here. And today is the day that I presented our 2-minute statement on behalf of We Charge Genocide and the Police Crimes Group. And it went well, I think. I woke up this morning and I just had it down. I had the whole statement down. And it was strange because last night, going to sleep, I didn't think I was as prepared as I was. I was kind of nervous. But then I woke up and I went in the mirror and I did the whole thing through for the first time without looking at the paper. So that felt nice. And then I stood in line and it was real inspiring to be standing right in front of Mike Brown's parents, who I met and thanked them for their strength being there. And then we sat down in the UN room, we filed in, walked into this kind of intimidating room with a bunch of people sitting on a panel that looked very important. And we sat there and I was sitting next to Mike Brown's mom, Leslie, and the statements got started. And I was 7th, which was my favorite number. And it got to me and I did the statement. I think it went well. I stood up, but I was the only one that stood up until I spoke. And Malcolm had held up a poster that I didn't notice then. I was very zoned in. And the one thing I would change about the statement is I messed up one line. But yeah, besides that, I think it went well.
My name is Asha. So today we start off the day with the formal presentation to the UN Committee Against Torture. Ethan gave a really inspiring speech. That was definitely a turning point in the day. We heard a lot of statistics, we heard a lot of people who are advocates and not necessarily directly impacted. We heard a lot of, references to different treaties. But Ethan really held it down and brought some poetry into the space, brought experience and brought story. And it was really moving, I think, for everyone that was there, and especially for our delegation to kind of kick off our testifying at this conference. Then Brianna told a equally moving story about her brother. A lot of us were in tears. But our delegates did great, Brianna and Ethan. And then the last thing we spoke at was us. We got an opportunity to speak to representatives of the U.S. government. So there were people from the Department of Justice, people from the Department of State, and there were, I think, 23 of them. And so I represented We Charge Genocide during this part, and the U.S. got an opportunity to defend themselves. And they started talking about law enforcement issues. And so this woman was talking, and just kind of we made some reforms, kind of saying some watery stuff that really aren't solutions to any of the problems that we're talking about. One of the last things that I said was we're not accepting any favors and we're not accepting any apologies. And their argument, their defense was just so weak. She talked about like 300 police have been prosecuted for police crimes or police violence in 5 years, which is just, first of all, such a ridiculously small number in comparison to all the people that have been violated by the police. But so at that point, we kind of said, ha, very noticeably, and everyone just got up and we walked out of that room. It was definitely felt by those state representatives. They were definitely kind of squirming in their seats. And then we went back later and had a kind of, with all of the other delegates that came, there was a side event, and so that was a kind of healing space, just really people telling their stories. It was really just for us. And that was really emotional. Rikia Boyd's brother, told his story, and that was moving. Michael Brown's parents were there. A woman talked about being sexually abused in the military, and that was a lot. But so there's definitely some healing and, going through a lot of really emotional stuff that's going on. We've tried to, keep our energy at least together, if not, keep our souls well. So we did a tradition that we do a lot in BYP 100, which is reciting this Asada Shakur quote that starts, "It is our duty to fight." It ends, "We have nothing to lose but our chains." We did that. We yelled it really loud right outside of the UN. And then after everything was over today, the 8 of us came back to the spot where some of us are staying, and just kind of had a circle, went around affirming one another, talking about recentering ourselves and what our needs are from each other. And we talked about feeling really affirmed and that knowing people in Chicago are supporting us, people around the country back home are paying attention and are showing their love from afar, and that felt really good. So overall, just really feeling the collective and feeling the energy that we all have together, and I'm really happy to be in this with the people that I am, and happy to know we have the community that's even bigger than just the 8 of us.